Slaughterhouse Canyon, a haunting tale of love, madness, and unseen terror. Deep in the heart of Arizona, where the sun blazes by day and shadows crawl by night, lies a desolate place known as Slaughterhouse Canyon. To the casual observer, it is a rugged wilderness, rocky cliffs, dry air, and eerie silence. But those who know its dark past speak in hushed whispers about the horrors that unfolded there, horrors that still cling to the canyon like a malevolent specter. The story begins in the 1800s with a miner and his family. Lured by the promise of gold, they settled in the canyon, enduring harsh conditions while clinging to dreams of wealth. As the miners' luck ran dry, their supplies dwindled and desperation set in. The man left on a final journey, swearing to return with food and riches. He never did. Desperate to save his family, the man left on a final journey, vowing to return with food and riches. Days passed, then weeks, but he never came back. Whether he succumbed to the unforgiving wilderness or abandoned his family altogether, no one knows. What remains certain is the devastation left behind, a mother left to care for her children with no food, no hope, and no sign of her husband. As hunger gnawed at their bodies and madness seeped into her mind, the mother could no longer bear to see her children suffer. One fateful night, overcome by grief and despair, she put on her blood-stained wedding dress, likely the only garment she still cherished, and committed an unspeakable act. She took her children into the canyon's depths and slaughtered them, their cries echoing into the dark. The legend says she thought she was sparing them from a worse fate, but her madness betrayed her. When she realized the horror of her actions, she collapsed beside their lifeless bodies, her screams of anguish piercing the night. The next morning, her body was found by passing travelers, her face frozen in a twisted mask of sorrow. But death was not the end. The haunting of Slaughterhouse Canyon. Visitors to the canyon claim that the mother's spirit never left. Locals warn against venturing there at night, when her anguished cries pierce the silence, growing louder the closer you get to the canyon's heart. They describe the sound as otherworldly, neither human nor animal, filled with pain so profound it chills the soul. Some have reported seeing her spectral figure wandering the cliffs, her wedding dress now a tattered, blood-soaked shroud. She is said to appear suddenly, staring with hollow, dead eyes, her face twisted in an expression of unbearable grief. Witnesses say she does not move like a living being. She glides as though carried by the wind, her presence accompanied by a bone-chilling cold. Other horrors. Beyond the mother's ghost, strange and inexplicable events plague the area. Hikers have spoken of hearing the laughter of children echoing faintly through the canyon, only for it to turn into blood-curdling screams. Others claim that they found strange markings on the canyon walls, symbols carved deep into the rock, their meanings unknown. One man, a seasoned outdoorsman, ventured into the canyon on a dare and emerged shaken, his face pale and his voice trembling. He claimed he felt an unseen force pulling him deeper into the canyon, his legs moving against his will. He described a sensation of icy hands gripping his shoulders and whispers in his ear, telling him to stay forever. Campers report the sound of heavy footsteps circling their tents at night, though no one is ever there. A few have awoken to find their belongings scattered, their tents slashed, and deep claw marks etched into the ground around their campsite. The lost visitors. The most terrifying stories are those of people who entered the canyon and were never seen again. Search parties have found their abandoned gear, but no trace of the individuals. Local legends say the mother's vengeful spirit is to blame, dragging the living into her torment to suffer for eternity. One chilling tale speaks of a young couple who set out to debunk the legend. They mocked the warnings and entered the canyon at night, live streaming their adventure. The feed abruptly cut off after 47 minutes. When authorities found their car the next day, the interior was covered in a strange, rust-colored substance resembling blood, and the keys were still in the ignition. No bodies were ever recovered. The canyon's curse. Slaughterhouse Canyon isn't just haunted, it's cursed. Native legends speak of the land being tainted long before the miner's family arrived. They describe it as a place where the boundary between the living and the dead is dangerously thin, a realm where despair takes physical form. Some believe the miner's family was doomed the moment they set foot there, their suffering feeding the canyon's dark hunger. Even in the daylight, the canyon feels wrong. The air is heavy, the silence oppressive. Those brave enough to venture inside often return with stories of unease, strange sounds, and the overwhelming sensation of being watched by something they cannot see. Would you dare to visit Slaughterhouse Canyon? Some say it's just a legend, a story to scare curious wanderers. But others will tell you, if you hear the cries of the grieving mother, it's already too late.